CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
Somebody tries to come into my home and I have young children. The Crown should be considering that as a factor in determining whether or not the response was reasonable.
Tonight on CTV News, pushing back against the federal government. The province gets behind gun owners protecting their property and families. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Alberta homeowners who shoot intruders breaking into their homes could be spared from legal prosecution. The province is introducing a motion that would defy certain federal gun laws. CTV's Nariman Issa explains.
Albertans deserve to feel safe in their homes, full stop. We're not going to apologize for that whatsoever.
The Alberta government is challenging federal gun laws with the Alberta Sovereignty Within a United Canada Act.
We'll say to the Crown prosecution that we have no public interest in prosecuting individual Albertans who are defending themselves and their loved ones from a credible threat.
Smith's government is introducing a new motion under the Act to protect law-abiding gun owners in Alberta. It would allow people to defend themselves and their loved ones on their private property. It would also direct provincial authorities to decline to enforce Ottawa's gun buyback program.
Turning previously legal firearms into prohibited ones does nothing to make our streets safer. It simply punishes those who have acted in good faith and who have proven that they know how to follow provincial and federal law.
Legal, not legal.
Staff at the Southside Gun Shop are applauding the province's move.
As part of our Canadian culture, firearms are hugely ingrained. It's been around since we formed this country. There's no need to take that away because somewhere else, bad people are doing bad things.
Local shop owners say they are confused about what would constitute a gun to be legal or not legal. For instance, these two guns, they both look very similar. They have the same caliber, same magazine. However, this one not legal, this one legal. Shooters Haven says they take responsible gun ownership seriously. Dozens of the guns listed on the buyback program are locked up until further notice.
And until we hear something from our government as to what we can do as a store to deal with these firearms, we just get to store them on our own dime.
Public Safety Canada says if gun owners abide by the Alberta government's rules, they would have to export, deactivate, or turn prohibited weapon into police without compensation before the end of the amnesty periods or risk criminal liability, including for illegal possession. Nariman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton police will soon be testing artificial intelligence on officer body camera footage. The new technology will compare faces to photos in police databases. CTV's Gates Guarn has the story.
Some Edmonton police body cameras have become smarter. AI is now behind the lens.
I think there is a lot of value to this technology if it works as we hope it will.
Edmonton Police has partnered with Axon Enterprise and will be the first police service in the world to test out the company's facial recognition tech. Police will use a pre-populated database with mugshots of offenders for testing.
We know that this is a really powerful tool, and these are high-severity people that we're looking for.
Up to 50 officers already using body cams will test how the tech recognizes faces and matches them to ones found on the database. If one is found, it will be sent to a trained officer for review.
The human reviewer is a really critical aspect of the entire system to make sure that with a system match, there's always an element of human discretion.
Police say testing will not impact how officers conduct their usual duties, but there are concerns surrounding privacy. EPS has submitted a privacy impact assessment to Alberta's Privacy Commissioner, but she says there are already questions being raised.
If you're using facial recognition technology and it's not accurate because it actually hasn't been trained appropriately on the data to recognize the population with which it's interacting, then we have an accuracy issue.
And those issues could have serious consequences.
The impacts to the public are significant if we have mismatches, false positive, false negatives. This is policing. This is serious. This has a real impact on people's lives.
Axon acknowledges there were gaps using facial recognition in law enforcement, but the company is confident in its accuracy.
And that's why we've put in guardrails in this technology to limit the distance and also to be only used in good lighting until we learn more about the capabilities.
We really want to crawl before we run and before we try to walk to make sure that the technology is where it needs to be.
Testing will take place throughout the month, and results will be given to the city's police commission to see if further testing is needed. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Councillors are debating what to keep and what to cut from the city budget. Decisions that will determine how much more you'll pay in property taxes next year. The starting point is a 6.5% increase. Council rejected a number of cuts on the capital side of the ledger today, electing to keep $2 million for new bike racks on city buses and $7 million for a new transit control center. In all, councillors proposed $31 million in new spending on capital projects and $14 million in cuts. On the operating side, again, more pitches for spending than saving. That includes a one-time $11 million payment to Explore Edmonton, the city's tourism and event attraction body. Mayor Andrew Knack admits it's a lot of money, but he believes that it's good value.
Every dollar we put into Explore Edmonton, we are seeing a $29 return for every dollar we put in. So when we talk about economic development, when we talk about boosting our local economy, that's the type of investment I think people can easily get behind.
Council approved $25 million to buy 25 new buses. Though that money won't be on the books until 2027, so it won't affect the tax increase for next year. Budget talks continue tomorrow. Council has until Thursday to set a final tax increase for next year. A jury trial for a Beaumont man accused of killing the mother of his young son is underway. The Crown is trying to prove that Kenneth Skelly is guilty of second-degree murder. CTV's Amanda Anderson has the latest.
Inside the Wetaskiwin courthouse, the Crown prosecutor's opening remarks painted a picture of lies used to cover up a murder. 40-year-old Treasa Oberly disappeared from her home in Beaumont in July 2023. Her body was later found near Whitecourt.
This has been a really long process. We've been going through this for years. Also too taking care of her son. It's been a journey and a very emotional one.
The Crown gave the jury her view of the case, a view she intends to prove throughout the trial. Kenneth Skelly is accused of second-degree murder for Oberly's death. The Crown claims he struck her in the head with a breaker bar in their garage. The jury heard you were going to hear him lie and hear about the lies he told police. The Crown believes killing her was his way out of the relationship. Several RCMP officers were called as witnesses. The officer who initially responded to do a wellness check when friends hadn't heard from Oberly was first. He told the court Skelly said she went to visit family in the U.S., but checks with CBSA and Homeland Security didn't have any record of her crossing the border. The jury was also shown a video of a statement Skelly gave to police when it went from a missing person investigation to a criminal one. During the video, Skelly described Oberly as unstable and out of control. He went on to say the morning of her disappearance, she was ranting about several things, and he told her he'd had enough and she had to go get help. He also recounted a story to the officer about people showing up at his house looking for Oberly, claiming she owed them $50,000. McCleave says as difficult as it is to hear some of the things being said in the courtroom, she feels it's important to be here for her friend and for the 5-year-old left without his mother.
He misses his mother. He knows his mother's past, and we keep her very much a part of his life.
The trial continues tomorrow. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Wetaskiwin.
Despite 14 UCP MLAs facing recall petitions, Alberta's Justice Minister says changes to the Act aren't coming this week or this session. His confirmation comes after a weekend comment from Danielle Smith that had people anticipating otherwise. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
There will be some changes to election legislation coming forward on Thursday. And so I'll leave it to the Justice Minister to go through the technical briefing of what that looks like.
Danielle Smith's response to a question about recall legislation provoked speculation Monday. Changes could be coming.
We think that it's being weaponized by special interest groups to try and overthrow a government. That's not the intention of recall. It never was the intention of recall. But I can further say that those changes are being contemplated. They will not appear as part of any bill this session.
Clearly, the government's struggling with the legislation they enacted a couple of years ago.
Alberta's former Deputy Chief Electoral Officer says unless retroactive, any revised legislation would likely not apply to petitions that have already met their goal.
These were started and commenced and approved under the existing legislation. If they make changes down the road, that won't impact the ones that are currently underway.
Some of the campaigns currently gathering signatures have January and February deadlines.
They passed legislation with these rules less than a year ago, and they got a response to that, and they're following these rules. I wouldn't think that they would then change the rules mid-course.
I think people are a bit frustrated that it's being used this way because I believe it is an important mechanism.
Danielle Smith took a live audience poll at last weekend's UCP AGM, with more of the crowd clapping for changes to the rules than the idea of leaving them as is. The Justice Minister says the opinions shared by party members are being taken into consideration, as well as the opinions of non-UCP members.
They'll make a decision if and when it's appropriate to do so.
The current legislative session is expected to end next week. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta Infrastructure says it received 6 proposals to repurpose the old Royal Alberta Museum. The building in Glenora has been empty since 2015. The province planned to tear it down to make room for green space. Heritage consultants and architects pushed to save the building. Last summer, Alberta's infrastructure minister said it would explore ways to repurpose the site. A spokesperson says of the 6 proposals received, 3 met requirements set out by the ministry. They won't be made public since the government is still negotiating with the top-ranked proposal. One energy industry expert says the recent energy deal between Alberta and Ottawa could have more immediate benefits than a new pipeline. Richard Masson with the University of Calgary School of Public Policy says difficulties building pipelines like TMX and Northern Gateway mean a brand new project will be hard to sell to investors. However, he says the terms of the new agreement could mean growing production for existing pipelines. He says that's a more realistic outcome than a new project, which would require 20-year commitments from producers.
And there are not that many producers anymore, so each of them would have to make, big commitments over 100,000 barrels a day. It just doesn't seem very likely given where we're at. But let's hope that we can actually start to move the system faster and move to a higher level of production growth. That'll really add value for Canada.
He says the agreement does show that Alberta and the federal government are willing to work together to bring investors back to Canada. Another big event is headed to Ice District. Shabuzi will be headlining the first Boots and Hearts Festival here in Edmonton. Russell Dickerson will headline the Friday night. Boots and Hearts is a major country music festival based out east. The full lineup is still to come out. The festival runs August 28th and 29th in Fan Park. Tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at 10.
She said to me, Jimmy, we're at a crossroads in our relationship. Down one road is hard work and commitment, but ultimately, happiness. And down the other road, well, the other road is a dead end. And I said, that's not a crossroads, that's a T-junction.
Comedian Jimmy Carr is coming to Rogers Place September 25th of 2026. Carr's tour will take him across 31 cities in our country, including Fort McMurray and Grand Prairie. Tickets go on sale Friday morning at 10 o'clock. The city is reminding Edmontonians it will be up to you to get rid of your real Christmas trees after the holidays. The city says only 2.5% of Edmonton households set trees out for curbside pickup last January. It says getting rid of the collection will save the city some money that can be used on other things. You can drop off real Christmas trees at any community recycling depot from December 27th until February the 7th. You can also drop it off at an eco station or the Edmonton Waste Management Center at any time. Tickets to tour a castle made of ice are now on sale. The Edmonton Ice Castle is taking shape in Ice District. Builders say -9 degrees Celsius is the sweet spot for making ice. Organizers expect the attraction to open up later this month. That'll all be weather dependent. For now, advanced ticket sales are for January 10th onward.
There's a high probability that we will open sooner than then, but it is a weather-dependent attraction. And so with that, we set those tickets to be on sale for dates that we are confident will be open.
Once ready, the Ice Castle will be open for visitors every day except Wednesday. Ticket prices range from $15 to $24 a person. Just ahead, Giving Tuesday. Local charities living on the generosity this holiday season. Plus, there's an app for that. A recently launched app highlights local grocery chains.
Now more than ever, it's so important to support local. It's so important to help our local economy by supporting businesses that are made right here in Alberta.
Good evening, folks. Temperatures were falling through the day today, staying below zero by 5 to 8 degrees for most of the day. But we're back into some sloppy conditions as temperatures return to above zero for daytime highs tomorrow and Thursday, and potentially some more snow tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Take a closer look at that and the colder air set to drop in for Friday and the weekend in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. Lots of people turn their attention to shopping at this time of year. Local shops and producers hope people will remember to turn to them when they're looking for gifts or ingredients for holiday dinners. As CTV's Sasha Petromala reports, a group has just launched an app to make it easier for shoppers to figure out what comes from Alberta.
At Pasta Pantry, the work starts before the doors even open. This Sherwood Park restaurant makes fresh noodles and meatballs every morning.
We're making pasta in your neighborhood, and we're happy to serve you.
Much of what is dished out here is sourced close to home.
A lot of our ingredients are grown in Alberta, from our durum semolina flour to our cattle, like our beef for our meatballs and meat sauce.
Now more than ever, it's so important to support local. It's so important to help our local economy by supporting businesses that are made right here in Alberta.
The new Made in Alberta app hopes to help.
All you have to do is take a photo with the app or search a company or search a product, search a type of product, and it gives you a whole list of local alternatives.
Signing up was a no-brainer for this local chocolate shop.
It was really important because we're definitely not street-facing, so we're tucked away. And this app will definitely bring a lot more people in the store or just to visit our website and maybe purchase online.
And not all products need to be sourced from Alberta to meet app requirements.
And as long as the last substantial transformation happens right here in Alberta. So that means you can bring those coffee beans in here, roast them here, package them here, and you're a local business and we want to support you.
Vendors say the app makes it simple to market their goods.
You log into Made in Alberta and sign up. It's just a couple clicks and you import your products, your pictures, your descriptions, and you're basically live.
We're taking steps into doing a lot more work in sourcing directly, which involves a lot more time, a lot more money.
Currently, just over 600 vendors are on the app with no limits on how many can join. Sasha Petromala, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some local charities and organizations are leading on Giving Tuesday to help boost their budgets. As Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, there's no shortage of people who need help.
When children walk through the doors of Kids Cottage Edmonton, they're given a safe and warm place to stay, a moment to forget what's happening at home.
They actually just get to have fun and they get to be a kid.
Kids Cottage provides care and shelter for families going through a crisis. More than 600 kids fill these beds every year for up to 5 days at a time.
For some kids, it's the first time that they've slept in an actual bed before, so lots of kids get really excited about that.
Half of its annual operating budget comes from donations. It needs more than $1 million to keep its doors open.
When we don't raise enough money, it means that less people get help and less children are cared for and more families are at risk.
Relying on donations to help families in need is something Holiday Hamper knows well.
We're going to probably be helping over 2,000 families again this year, so that means 2,000 turkeys.
Something that's only possible through donations. With less than a month until Christmas, Holiday Hamper says it's $100,000 short of its fundraising goal.
We just push as hard as we can these last couple of weeks before Christmas, but it's kind of like that ever since the pandemic. It's been challenging to raise that money.
The organization is also looking for volunteer elves to deliver the meals. Another way you can help if you can't give a monetary donation.
Some of the reactions are just amazing. I mean, we've had families with the kids at the door going, Santa's here. And it's really a great opportunity to really change somebody's Christmas.
Donations made today to Holiday Hamper and Kids Cottage are being matched. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
After the break, Santa's workshop a little closer to home. Staff and students at Northwest College create toys for children with disabilities.
It's actually strangely easy, like with the right setup and the right instructions and the right supports around you, to actually take a toy and turn it into something that can be used by any child.
Wednesday on Your Morning Edmonton, we're expecting snow over the next couple of days. After an icy commute Tuesday, we will give you the weather and traffic updates you need to get there safely.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by A Very Merry Pops with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Welcome back. 3 degrees for a daytime high today, although that came in just after midnight. Temperatures by lunchtime were in the -7 range. Most of this afternoon, we kind of leveled off in the -7, -8 range. -4 is the average high for this time of year. We'll see temperatures tomorrow afternoon back a degree or two above zero. So after cooling off through the day today, temperatures head in the normal direction tomorrow. Cooler in the morning, warmer through the afternoon. Will be cloudy all day. You've got a low pressure system sliding across the north. That again is going to bring some snow to northern Alberta, and late in the day you get a chance of some wet flurries in the Edmonton area. It doesn't look like this is going to amount to all that much, but a pretty decent chance that we'll see at least some precipitation. There's another low pressure system on Thursday. This one develops further to the south, and so that puts us a little closer to potentially some heavier snow. If it's snow, there's a chance it's sort of a rain-snow mix, or sort of showers that flip back and forth between snow and rain. It is going to be 2 or 3 degrees above zero Thursday, so really warm and sloppy again through Thursday. Friday, some colder Arctic air starts to slam in from the north. That'll squeeze some snow out, and actually Friday looks like it has the potential to be the heaviest snow this week. So we'll see how that plays out. Into the -20s overnight in east central and northeastern Alberta, just -8 for Jasper and Edmonton tomorrow morning, about -10 in Grand Prairie. You're back to 3 or 4 degrees above zero in Grand Prairie and Edson tomorrow afternoon. Pretty good rebound to temperatures as well in through the northeast after being in the -20s overnight. Highs of about -6 or -7. Chance of some snow there in Fort McMurray. Could see some late day flurries in through the Red Deer region. High of -2 there. -6 or 7 in Lloydminster Coronation. It's 2 degrees in the forecast for Jasper. Here in Edmonton, 2 or 3 for daytime highs tomorrow and Thursday. Late in the day, chance of some wet flurries. Bit of a rain-snow mix potentially on Thursday, and then snow and temperatures falling once again through the day Friday. -14 by Friday afternoon. It'll stay cold Saturday. We start to dig out of that cold air Sunday, and by early next week, we're back into some mild air. That is your forecast.
Students and staff at Northwest College are hacking toys to benefit kids with disabilities. CTV's Merrick DeCash explains.
Okay, so here's this one.
Northwest College looks more like Santa's workshop these days.
It's actually strangely easy, like with the right setup and the right instructions and the right supports around you, to actually take a toy and turn it into something that can be used by any child.
Hacking the Holidays is an event where students and staff remodel toys to make them more accessible for children with disabilities.
And they're creating a switch or an adaptive tech into that toy, so children that have limited mobility in their hands can now just have to press one button, making it easier for them to play with the toy.
So I'm adapting this super fun koala toy for a child with an experience of disability, so that they can engage in play alongside their peers and like any other child would.
40 different items have been transformed, including this popular Lilo and Stitch Switch toy fresh from the box.
So what I've done is I've opened it up. I've taken the Switch, the Switch apart from the actual functionality of the toy, and then modify it to make it more accessible.
Store-bought accessible toys can cost upwards of $100. The ones created here will be donated to children in the Edmonton area through Makers Making Change.
Too bad I won't be there to see like the little person open it and like how happy they are, but it's fun to imagine.
And they'll be delivered just in time for Christmas. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, that's all from us tonight. Thanks for wrapping up your Tuesday with us on CTV Edmonton. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Until then, take care and goodbye for now.